with your host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Hey, welcome in to another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com, broadcasting live on YouTube, X, and Facebook. I'm your host, Andrew Romanella. I got you for the next 20 or so. It is a Friday, which means the final day of the week. So I'm sure, or I hope, the people out there listening are fired up. We are today, despite the fact that we are rooting for the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Finals, and they blew a lead last night in the fourth quarter, giving Indy a 1-0 series lead. So even though it is a great day, it is a Friday, it's June 6th, 2025, and the weather is finally acting normal, at least here in the state of New Jersey, I am a little sad getting up this morning after watching the Thunder lead for what felt like 59 minutes and 59 seconds, but it was that last second, that last 3/10 of a second that changed everything. We'll talk about it in a second. Before we do any of it, though, we remind you, you can get The Rome Show wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search The Rome Show podcast. The social media handles are The Rome Show 1. That's The Rome Show, then the number 1. It's in the bottom left-hand side of your viewing screen. Our mothership, 12OZ Sports. Make sure you follow the mothership on YouTube, or just simply head to the website, 12ozsports.com, and you can get the full plethora of 12OZ Sports radio shows, podcasts, and the whole gamut. Let's write in if you have thoughts. You can do that on YouTube or X. We got to talk NBA. We're going to talk National Football League because Aaron Rodgers has finally signed with a team. And then, as we do every Friday, we end the show with a little bit of what you're watching this weekend.
What you watching?
Which should be pretty.
What you watching?
Okay, we get it. Which should be pretty easy, considering we are in the midst of the Stanley Cup and the NBA Finals. But without further ado, let's see how Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers won it last night, 111-110. And the statistic I mentioned earlier was not necessarily a joke when it came down to the full totality of this game. Okay. That was the largest, that was 46 minutes and 26 seconds of the Oklahoma City Thunder leading that game. OKC led for 46 minutes and 26 seconds. The Pacers, 0.3. Here's how it happened. And this is the key right here, okay? 16:15 on the clock. You're up by 1. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has the ball in his hands. So despite the fact that at one point in time during this game, you were up by a score of 94-79 with 9 minutes remaining, okay? So you were up by 15 with 9 minutes remaining. You were up by like 9 with 3 minutes remaining. Despite all of those things, okay, you still had the most valuable player in the NBA, the best player on your team, and arguably, outside of Tyrese Halliburton, the next best player on the floor that anyone would say, give that man the basketball in winning time. We need him to hit a bucket. He goes to his signature turnaround, gets to the spot, elbow jumper, and doesn't hit it. The Pacers, you have to have great players on the other side not succeeding in the most important moments. And that's what you're seeing with all of these comebacks the Pacers are making in the postseason. And when we went into the NBA Finals preview and we talked about how the Pacers were a team first, that there was no better physical team than the Indiana Pacers, well, you wouldn't have completed your fourth double-digit comeback of the postseason if you aren't a team that is fully bought in, fully locked on each other, and fully believes. Game number 5 against Milwaukee. Huge comeback. Honestly, might have changed the trajectory of the franchise for the Milwaukee Bucks, especially for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Game 2 versus Cleveland, they were down by like 30. At one point, I turned that game on. It felt like it was 92-7. They find a way to come back and they win that game. And they put a hurting on the Cleveland Cavaliers over the course of a series, making them look like they never even deserved the 1 seed. The New York Knicks, game 1. That was atrocious. Okay? And now you look back on video surfacing of the Knicks and you see guys yelling at each other in the middle of a huddle during that time. Team. It's almost impossible to beat the Pacers because they don't stop. They don't stop believing, but most importantly, they don't stop believing in each other. Move the basketball. Give it to somebody else. Who can do something for us here? Guy number 1 to guy number 10. They want to do what the team needs to win. And you saw it again last night, game number 1 versus OKC, their 4th major comeback in this postseason, doing things that you've never seen done before in the NBA. Starting with that being the tied for the largest fourth quarter comeback in NBA Finals history last night, that 15 points. Okay. The stat that we mentioned before about the fact that they were only leading for less than a second that entire game. Okay. And then on top of that, when you look at it and you look at why this team is never out of a game, they had 6 different scores in double digits. All 5 starters scored 10 or more points. And the second chance opportunities that came for the Pacers that didn't come for the Thunder were huge. The Pacers out-rebounded the Thunder by 17, 56-39. 56-38, excuse me. And then on top of that, out-rebounded them +3 on the offensive side of the ball. Move the basketball. No one singular person had more than 13 shots. Listen to the 15, excuse me. Listen to the shot totals for the starters for the Pacers. 15, 13, 11, 10, 9. Now let's go to the bench. 6, 9. Dude, you move the basketball. You don't care who gets the points. And you play 8 dudes, 16 or more minutes. 8 dudes that can score the basketball, rebound. They want to assist. They want to play defense. You can only beat this team by playing a full basketball game. There's no facing the Indiana Pacers having a lead, any lead. No lead is safe against this team. It's like you see all these statistics. Well, the last team to ever be faced in this scenario was 4,072 until now. Because now the Indiana Pacers are 4,072. Like, that's impressive. Okay? And it doesn't just happen. It's all about the identity of this ball club. This is a team that wants to win. And not just the traditional of course, we play this game to be the champions. They clearly want to win for each other. They clearly enjoy playing basketball with each other. And to finish, Tyrese Halliburton is as clutch gets. And the best part about it is he's never the leading scorer. He's not the main attraction over the course of a full game. He's elite level talented. He is a major reason why this Indiana team is where they are. He is clutch in clutch time. But Siakam, double-double last night, 10 rebounds, 19 points. Aaron Naismith, double-double last night, 12 rebounds, 10 points. And then Halliburton, 10 rebounds and 14 points. 24 assists as a team. They moved the basketball to only 13 for Oklahoma City Thunder. Out rebound, out assist. The only thing that Indiana didn't do well last night was turn the basketball over. But what they did do is they shut the valve off when they needed to. Way too many early. And at one point in time, there were 0 turnovers for the Oklahoma City Thunder going into the fourth quarter. They had 6 to end that game. Lock down the defensive pressure. If you're OKC, you got to find a way to play full game worth of basketball. It's not like these other games you might have played in other rounds where you were beating Minnesota by 29 with 7 minutes left and you were watching them put each other on the gurney and walk each other off the court. That's not how this team flies. That's not how the Pacers rock. And look no further than the major comebacks they've made during this postseason run that have now given everyone the belief that they're going to win the championship. Because here's my thing. It is really hard to blow a bad lead, lose a bad game, and bounce back and win the series. Saw it last night for Texas Tech softball. Okay, game 3 today, College World Series. Texas Tech lost a terrible game 1 on an intentional walk pitch that ended up being in the strike zone and hit for the go-ahead 2 RBI single for Texas. Texas Tech bounces back yesterday and forces an if necessary game 3. It doesn't happen often. You saw it with the Knicks, saw it with the Cavs, and saw it with the Bucks. When Indiana was able to break through in one of these crazy comeback victories, you felt like the balloon popped on the other team's series, and it was just a matter of time. And you know what's crazy is? So often in sports do people talk about you can't get in this habit of getting behind. You can't get into the habit of getting behind. It's going to come back and bite you. Honestly, I think my board range true. When Indiana's down by 15, they got you right where they want you. When they're down by double digits, the Pacers are licking their chops like, this is the game plan. This is exactly what we want. And I put up an Instagram post, The Rome Show, Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok. I think I'm going to put it up on all, actually, a few weeks ago, where it said something happens to the Pacers at Madison Square Garden that turns them into like the Monstars when they first took over the talent in Space Jams. But that statement is not really true. That statement is when Indiana's back's against the wall, look out. When you have Indiana backed into a corner, look out, because they're about to play their best basketball. The Rome Show, 12ozsports.com, broadcasting live on YouTube and X. Going to take a quick commercial break, come back and talk Aaron Rodgers. That is right. The 41-year-old quarterback has found his third team, and we are here to dissect whether or not this is actually going to be a worthwhile signing for Aaron Rodgers and for the team he is now QB1 for. So stick with us here on the Rome Show, 12OZ Sports, 7/25, June 6th. It's a Friday, and we're having fun. Back after this.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Yeah, it's the Rome Show. 12ouncesports.com. Broadcasting live on YouTube, X. I think I got it on my Facebook as well. That's kind of fire. Okay. So you can listen or watch anywhere. If you missed the show today, yesterday, the day before, any day, the Rome Show podcast, wherever you listen to your podcasts. We were talking NBA Finals before the commercial break, and I mentioned that Aaron Rodgers has signed with a National Football League team, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers has signed a 1-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers to be their QB1 and head up a QB room of himself, Mason Rudolph, Skylar Thompson, and Ohio State's recently drafted Will Howard. Now, this has been an ongoing situation here in Pittsburgh, as last year the Pittsburgh Steelers let go Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Both have ended up in both New York teams, Wilson to the Giants and Fields to the Jets. And I feel like for all intents and purposes, we all believe that without Pittsburgh really drafting a quarterback in the draft, without Pittsburgh going out and getting any of these people that seem to be viable quarterback options in free agency or via available trade, you were thinking one of two things. Either they have a ridiculously blind faith on Mason Rudolph, which is scary in its own right, okay, or they knew what was going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. They courted him, they brought him in, they wanted him to come be the QB, but that was 2.5 months ago. Now, Aaron Rodgers on McAfee in the middle of April said he's been honest the entire time. He wasn't trying to rush into a decision. He was trying to take his time in the offseason, and now he's gotten to that point, okay? 2 years, once this season starts, it'll be 2 years removed off of an Achilles injury with the New York Jets. Now, with a lot of those major injuries, okay, especially the lower extremities, there's a lot of belief that that second year healthy is really the year when you hit your stride back. The only problem here is this man is 41, okay? So I don't know if necessarily that means anything in this situation. We've seen people above the age of 40 perform in sports, but for it to happen in the National Football League is nearly impossible. You have Tom Brady, and I think that might be your list. Okay. So does this help the Pittsburgh Steelers? Are the black and gold better today than they were yesterday? Well, off the jump, you'd say yes. Because if you were to start Mason Rudolph, Skylar Thompson, or Will Howard at the quarterback position this year, I think we can all agree, A, you're the worst team in the AFC North. That's just a fact. So you ain't getting out of your own division. But B, you arguably have the worst quarterback situation in the AFC. Okay? Because you might look at the Browns quarterback room significantly better than you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback room if Aaron Rodgers doesn't exist in it. But now he does exist in it. He's coming off a year where he threw 3,900 yards, 28 TDs, and 11 interceptions his first year off the Achilles with the Jets, which I feel like has to hold some weight. So by nature, yes, the Steelers are better today. There's no doubt the Steelers' offense today is better than it's been at any point in time during this offseason. Is the Steelers' offense better than last year? I don't know. You got Metcalf, you get rid of Pickens. I don't know what your run game's going to be like. And now you have question marks on your quarterback. So yes, better, but no, not better enough, in my opinion, I believe, to compete in the AFC North, who have Joe Burrow as your quarterbacks. You have Lamar Jackson as your other quarterback. You have the situation in Cleveland, which has like 5 quarterbacks in the room. And then you have the situation in Pittsburgh. And like I said before, I've been hammering the Cleveland Browns quarterback situation, hammering it ever since they traded for Deshaun Watson, but even more so since he's been atrocious and injured in the 2.5 years he's been there. I still think with Flacco and the group in Cleveland, it's probably better than Rodgers and the group in Pittsburgh as a totality of QBs. Could be wrong. Probably am. They're both not good, which is the final point of this is, what did it really do for you? Unless Pittsburgh stopgaps for a year with Aaron Rodgers, hopes they can do something special that never happened and matriculated in New York, which was the plan. And then next year, in a presumably better QB draft class, go after someone that you feel like could be the quote-unquote next Ben Roethlisberger, or in the normal adage of the word, franchise quarterback. That's got to be the plan, because you know Aaron Rodgers isn't the long-term solution, nor is Mason Rudolph, nor is Skylar Thompson. Will Howard could be, but I don't think he's within a year or two away of even touching the field and having an impact for your team. So Aaron Rodgers is a Pittsburgh Steeler. Doesn't necessarily make the Steelers better per se, but makes them better enough that they believe they can compete in this 17 games. And then I would believe that going into next year, the 2026 draft, that's when you're trying to find your franchise quarterback. Interesting. And we'll see what shapes up if Aaron Rodgers can find the magic in Pittsburgh that he was supposed to find with the New York Jets, man. Wouldn't that be funny? A year older, 3 years after this whole Jets thing went down, and he figures it out with Pittsburgh. You know, I'm a fan of the Dolphins, so I don't want anyone in the AFC to be better than my team. But at the end of the day, I don't care about that. I would enjoy so much watching Aaron Rodgers take the Steelers to a 13-4 record, him have an unbelievable season, then make a run to like the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. I'm not even the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan, but I would love that on behalf of watching and listening to the Jets fan have to watch that go on. What you need to watch this weekend also tell you that would be considered the Rome Show here on 12OZ Sports. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a good week. We had a great week. All right, we'll be back on Monday at 7 a.m. Be sure to subscribe on the YouTube, 12OZ Sports. Be sure to follow the podcast, the Rome Show podcast, and be sure to tune back in on Monday at 7 a.m. as we kick your week off just as much as we close your week off. Andrew Romanello, you have an electric weekend, and until Monday, peace.
Thank you for listening.